Welcome to Fabric of Folklore storytelling time. I'm Vanessa Y. Rogers, your storyteller, and we are talking about Aesop fables. Are very old stories, thousands of years old, and the story we're going to tell today is The Belling of the Cat. So there was a farm with a family of mice, and they lived happily on this farm, and they ate the grain in the barn, and they lived contented, happy lives, and were well fed. Until one day, the farmer got a cat. This cat was incredibly stealthy and a very good mouser. It would sneak up behind the unknowing mouse. He would sneak up behind the unaware mouse and gobble him up. So the mice were alarmed at the behavior of this cat and the death of so many of their fellow mice, and they called a meeting, a melding in the minds, a community event to try and solve the problem of the cat. But nobody had any ideas. Nobody had any suggestions because this cat was so quiet. No one knew when he was sneaking up behind them until one little mouse in the back of the room raised his hand and he said, "I have an idea." And all the eyes looked directly at the little mouse and he said, "If we can put a bell on the collar of the mouse, we will then know when he's coming up behind us. He won't be able to sneak up on us anymore, and we'll be able to scurry away without being eaten." All of the mice in the circle clapped their hands because they knew that it was a beautiful, perfect idea. Until the old leader of the mice raised his hand for silence. Once everybody was quiet around the circle, he said, "Yes, young mouse, that is a beautiful idea. But let me ask you a very important question. Who will bell the cat?" And everybody was silent. It is one thing to say something must be done, but quite another thing for someone to actually do it. And that's the moral of the story. One of the interesting things about the Aesop fables that I personally find dissatisfying is all of the stories feel like they're only halfway complete. That's part of my American culture wanting a satisfying ending, a hopeful, motivational ending where people rally together and find a way. We prefer our stories to have happy endings. We want our stories to save the day at the end. Aesop fables are cautionary tales. They are warnings about misplaced desires, about authority and power, about ignoring a responsibility, about human nature itself. They're road guides from the ancient world to say, stop on this path because if you continue, there is danger along the way. Aesop stories are short, they're concise, and they're warnings about the consequences of human behavior. So many times their endings are unsatisfactory because that is the point of these fables. If you want to learn more about fables, make sure you tune in to episode 18. Dr. Laura Gibbs spoke in length about Aesop fables and how they came to our modern day, how old they are, and how they pass through continents and countries and people, and why they are so popular even still today. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notifications and keep the folk alive.